Hello friends and welcome to my channel Iballdesigningdeveloper. So like you all know that previously we have started a tutorial series of C++ and in that tutorial series we have covered up many of the things using C++, like I've told you that what are strings, what are operators, then we have also learned about data types. So today like we have started the previously on the string series in which we were learning about different strings in C++. So in this video I'll be telling you that what are numbers and strings in C++. Like we'll be starting the strings with numbers and I'll be telling you that how you can use strings with numbers in C++. So I hope you'll be enjoying this video from start. So if you enjoy this video and if you understand this amazing tutorial video in which we will be learning about numbers and strings, so remember to hit a like to this video, and if you're new on this channel want to see more videos like that, so remember to subscribe, and after subscribing hit notification bell so you can get the notifications of all my coming up videos which I'll be uploading on this channel. And also share this video so more people can learn about these amazing things, that how we can cover up these all amazing tutorials using C++ from start. So now what we are waiting for, let's move to computer screen and let's get started. So now here we are on the computer screen, and like I've told you in the start that today in this video we'll be learning that what are numbers and strings in C++ and why we use these numbers and strings. What are the things which we have to use when we are starting with numbers and strings, means that what are the elements you can say. So if we talk about numbers and strings in C++, so adding numbers and strings. Warning, C++ uses the plus operator for both addition and concatenation. Numbers are added, strings are concatenated. If you add two numbers, the result will be a number. Like it is just saying us that if you will add two numbers, the result will be a number, means it will be like a different number, but it will be a integer, means result will be obviously an integer when you will be adding 20 plus 10. So 20 plus 10 is 30. So obviously it is a number. So that is why we say which will be the result, it will be a number. So if you add two strings, the result will be a string concatenation, means if you add a number, if you add two numbers, so the result will be a string concatenation which will be 30, which is as integer. Now a string x equal to 10 which we have written, then string y equal to 20, and then we have written another string of z in which we have written x plus y. So z will be now 1020, a string. So if you try to add a number to a string, an error occurs. String x equal to 10, then init y equal to 20, then string z equal to x plus y, so it will be saying you an error. So what it is saying is, means what's the meaning of this whole thing? So basically the meaning of this thing is that if you will be adding two numbers with each other, like if we use this integer variable and then if we add the numbers, so obviously we'll be getting the 10 plus 20 answer which is 30. So means we'll be getting the answer as number and result will be a string, the result will be an integer. Now if you add two strings together, I'm not talking about the numbers, I'm talking about strings. Like if we add two strings together, the result will be a string concatenation. Like if we talk about 10, 10 is a number, but now we are writing this 10 is a not as an integer value, as an string. Like here we have written this 10 not as a string value, as an integer value. I have not written any quotes in the start, or like I have not written any double quotes here. I have not floated this value in the double quote. But if we talk about a string, in a string I have written the double quotes in the start and double quotes in the end, which means that the number which I am writing this 10, now I am writing this 10 in a string, and that is why we say this is not an integer value here, now this is a string value. Then in y also I have written 20 which is an integer, but now we have written this integer in a string value, and that is why we are saying it is in a string. And when we will be adding two string together, like in x we have written one string of 10 and in y we have written the second string of 20, and then the third string which we have created is of z, and in this z string we will be defining the x plus y string, and when you will be adding these two strings, so the answer will be 1020, means it will be just combining these two strings. It will be not adding these two strings, it will be just combining these two strings, and the answer will be as 1020. So that is the thing which is the difference between numbers and strings. Like when you will be adding the numbers, so what output you will be getting, and when you will be adding strings, so what output you will be getting. So the difference is that. Now if I just copy these all things here, like if I just copy these all things till here like this, like if I copy by pressing Ctrl C, and then if I move on to the Google Chrome, and if I just show you the thing here, so I'll be just moving here, and then I will be just, what I'm going to do is I'll be opening Replit, which I've already opened here. Then after opening this, I'll be just going to this, and I'll be just logging out with my account, and I'll be logging in again. And after logging in again, I'll be just opening my dummy account which I have already created and which we were using in the previous videos. So I'll be just logging with that account, and then we will be seeing that what the thing we are getting and what the change we are getting in these all thing is. So like if I select this, and after selecting these all things, just now it will be redirecting me to its dashboard here. And after going to the dashboard, I'll be just selecting this first REPL of C++ here. And after selecting this REPL, I'll be changing the name. And now in this video, we are learning about numbers and strings. So I'll be writing numbers and strings in C++. Like this. And after doing that, press enter, and you can just see we have created a title successfully, which is the named as numbers and strings in C++. Now we'll be removing all these things which we are getting here, and now we'll be adding first a string of number here. So I'll be just adding include IOStream like this, and then I will be now adding here using namespace std, then right here init main, and after writing this, I'll be just moving here, and then I'll be just writing a value as return 0. So we'll be returning the value as 0. Now I'll be pasting all these things here. So you can just see now what I'm getting is like I have written two integer values, which is a normal integer values. Like in x we have written, in x variable we have written the first integer which is 10, then in y variable we have written the second integer 20, and now the third integer of z we have written to add these two values. And now we'll be adding x plus y, means this first integer with the second integer. So obviously we'll be getting the output as 30 if I run and show you. So you can just see now we are getting an error because we have not defined these integers, and this is the bad thing. So we have to define these integers as well. I'll be pressing and L here now, then simply copy this here. And after copying these all things, simply have to move down, paste it, and now in the place of x I'll be writing y. Then same I'll be moving down, pasting it, and here I'll be writing z. Now if I run these all things here, after running you can just see now the output which we are getting is 10, 20 and 30. So why we are getting this output? Because we are just printing these three things, but I want only z should be printed. So now the answer we will be getting will be as, like if I do like this, so now it will be a different output. It will be saying you that sum of x and y is z, and in z the value is x plus y, so you will be getting the sum of x and y is 30. If I run this, so you can just see now the answer we are getting is sum of x and y is 30 when we are adding these two values 10 and 20. So obviously the answer will be as 30, which is same thing, and we have learned these all things in previous video as well. But now if we add two string values, so what the output we are getting, we have to check that. Now I'll be moving on to my document here, and I'll be just copying these all things here. And after copying these all things, I'll be just moving on to my Google Chrome, means to my Replit text editor, and I'll be pasting these all things. Now we are adding two strings together. So now the answer will be different of when we are adding these two strings, because in first string we have written the value x, and in the second string we have written the value y. So there will be a different answer here. If I run this, so you will be getting a different output. You can just see we are getting an error which is saying us that this x could not be defined because we have written the same here. Like if I write a here, then if I write s here, so this is another output which we have written, and we cannot write s. So if I write I like this, so this is another integer, and if I write p, so this is another string which we have. Or you can just say I can write here y and z, but I will be just commenting out these things so that the integers should not be coming here. I'll be commenting out these things, and I'll be running this. Now the output which you will be getting is 1020. Why we are getting this 1020 as an output of z? Because we are now adding two strings together, not an integer value. Means these 10 and 20 are the integer value, but now we are writing these integer value in a string because we are writing double quotes after and before these numbers. So it is now changed into string, means this integer value of 10 is being changed into string, and that is why when we are adding two strings together, so the output we are getting is 1020, and that's the thing. So I hope you understand that how we are getting the output as 1020 when we are adding two strings together. Now if I add two other different values here, like if I move on to my document and if I add these three values together, so you will be now getting a different output here as well. Like if I want to add these values, I'll be just commenting out these things, and I'll be just running it here. After running, now if I just just show you so you can just see. Now we are not getting any output. We are now adding one string with one integer, and when you are adding one string with one integer, so obviously you will be getting an error because you cannot add a integer value with a string. If you can add it, but if you want to subtract, you can do that as well. If you want to multiply or divide, you can do that as well. You will be getting a error because you cannot add, subtract, multiply or divide a value of a string with an integer. So we are adding a string value, means we are writing this 10 is in a string, and we are adding this string value, and then in y we are writing an integer value. So you cannot plus or you cannot add any integer within a string. So that is why we are getting an error, that it is saying it's that you cannot add any integer value with a string, and that is the thing. So I hope you understand that how we can work with numbers and strings. So you have to make a difference between these two things, that you cannot add a string with an integer, and when you will be adding a string with a string, you will be getting a different output. When you will be adding an integer with an integer, you will be getting a different output, and that's the thing. So I hope you understand that how we are getting a different output here, and how we can work with numbers and strings in C++. So if you have understand this video and if you enjoy this amazing tutorial video from start, so remember to hit a like to this video, and if you're new on this channel and want to see more videos like that, so remember to subscribe, and after subscribing hit notification bell so you can get the notifications of all my coming up videos which I'll be uploading on this channel. So just now I'll be meeting you next project or in next tutorial video using C++ from start. So for today, goodbye.